Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jesse. You're watching JL's Comics. Thanks for pressing play. Today's been a very exciting day. It's April 12th, Friday, 2019, and the world, and myself, were treated to the first teaser look at Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. The first panel for Star Wars Celebration, and only actually a lucky few were able to attend. The rest of us, myself included, had to watch over the internet, streaming it from our phones, from home, or like I did secretly at work. I wasn't disappointed. I know there's been a couple people who had some sort of mixed reactions to it. And I'm curious what you think, so go ahead and leave me those comments down below. Panel was an hour long, brought the whole cast out. Some new cast, Naomi Ackie. I'll talk about her in a second. But I want to take a look at the footage with you, unpack what was said, and see what we can uncover together from all this. It's a first look at this movie, and it really does harken back to A New Hope and to Return of the Jedi especially. The Last Jedi really aligned itself with Empire, so JJ is tying his back to the other movies. He's really good about hitting on that nostalgia. He did it masterfully with The Force Awakens, and it really seems like he's going to do it here. Couple interesting things that JJ said. He said in terms of Rey's parentage that they would honor episode 8, confirming he's not going to be retconning it, but there's more to the story than you've seen. So just like they did in Empire Strikes Back, they split up in The Last Jedi, and then again they did with Return of the Jedi. They're back together for this epic adventure. And he said that Daisy will exhibit some force powers that we've never seen before. A couple things that were revealed on the panel that weren't in the trailer is a newcomer named Naomi Ackie. She's playing a character named Jannah, but she wouldn't confirm if she's the daughter of Lando. I think she is, but she just couldn't say it. There was a weird alien on that leaked poster we got a week or two back. We know who it is now. It's a friend of the Resistance. His name is Clad. And JJ said that it's a friend of Chewie's that he brought in. So that lends some credibility to that leaked poster that we saw. The footage with Carrie Fisher is unused footage from previous films that they were able to tie in. So that'd be nice to see that as well. And the movie's its own story, but it does encompass the whole of the Skywalker saga. So it will be its own story, but it will honor everything that came before. All right, so let's break down this 2-minute and 4-second trailer. When we open up, Rey's breathing really heavily. She's facing down this First Order TIE fighter in the desert that looks a lot like Tatooine. I thought maybe Jakku, but keep in mind that they said this journey would encompass all that's come before. I also thought of Savareen, but the sand is kind of too yellow here for that, and the rocky areas in the background don't match. Fourth Ghost Luke says, "We've passed on all we know. 1,000 generations live in you now, but this is your fight." And then we see what looks like an upgraded version of Kylo's TIE silencer. We briefly see some gloves there, bearing down on Rey. And then the way she jumps and does a backflip, her lightsaber in her hand, makes me think that she's gonna cut off the wing, cut open the canopy, cut the whole damn thing in half. So that should be pretty cool to see. And then we cut to this foggy, rocky planet that looks a lot like the rugged one from Rogue One called Edu, but I think this is a brand new planet. It does remind me a little bit of like Bespin or something like that with all the fogginess. The next scene is of Kylo. He's advancing on this unknown forest. They're in the forest. He's got a stormtrooper on his flank, and it's a wooded area. Someone popped some red smoke, and it gives it this very like bleak look. And of course, red is a primary color of the dark side. So are they winning in this battle? And then we jump to someone wielding Kylo's helmet back together after he smashed it in Last Jedi. But if you look closely, it's not Kylo. It's a furry hand. So is that Chewie's hand or some other new alien with a furry hand? And then we see Finn and Poe. They're on this rocky outcropping, and it looks like the same planet from the opening duel scene. And we also see that Finn is holding Rey's staff. BB-8's next, and we see him with his new little friend. It's a little droid named Dio. And then we get this really cool scene with Billy D. Williams. He's back at the helm of the Millennium Falcon with Chewie, his co-pilot, cheering him on, and they jump into hyperspace. So it looks really cool. And then we get this really frenetic scene again on a desert planet with a skiff and what looks like a jetpack sand trooper flying through the dusty wake of the speeder, and they're all racing through what looks like a moisture farm, again leading me to believe it's Tatooine. C-3PO, Finn, and Poe are on the skiff. It looks like they were scoping out something earlier in that scene, and now they got what they needed, and now they're trying to escape. But this skiff design actually reminds me of the designs of Jabba's skiffs and speeders. And of course, Jabba's palace was on Tatooine. So here, what we're doing, just like JJ said, we're tying everything that's come before. And then we get a quick shot of a ship with a rear engine ablaze, and it's a really quick scene, but I think that's a A-wing. Next, we see the medal that she awarded Luke at the end of A New Hope. And that's a tough scene because Carrie Fisher died, Han died, Luke just died. She's holding her brother's Medal of Bravery. It's a tough scene. And then it cuts to this really beautiful scene with Leia hugging Rey, who's crying. And if that doesn't hit you in the feels, then you're probably just a droid and not a human. But this is the footage that I was talking about that was unused footage that they were able to tie into this plot-wise. The next scene is the whole cast in this grassy field. Looks like a high mountain. I thought at first Ahch-To, and then they cut over to what we're looking at, and that's the rubble of a destroyed Death Star. I mean, you can clearly make out the periphery of the super laser array. That's very clear what that is. And then the laugh. Ooh, the laugh. That is definitely Emperor Palpatine's laugh. We last saw Palpatine on screen in Revenge of the Sith back in 2005, I think it was. But story-wise, he perished in the Death Star in Return of the Jedi. This particular area they're in with the ocean, they're on the coast, it's grassy. It doesn't look like Endor, but I think it might be. When the trailer played at the panel, Ian McDiarmid was on stage. So that was definitely Palpatine's voice. And it makes sense that JJ would want to harken back to the third movie of the original trilogy, being that this is the third for this one. There's also a scene that was released of the main cast in front of the Millennium Falcon. It looks like they're waiting for C-3PO, but the background is this like jungly forest. So that supports the Endor theory. And then there's this. Credit to Lords of the Long Box, TiVo, shout out to you for bringing this to my attention. Concept art from this book. It's called The Art of Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Unused in that particular movie, but it depicts underwater wreckage of the second Death Star and their quest to recover a key piece of history about sacred Jedi sites in the galaxy. So it looks like they're trying to access here Emperor Palpatine's vault and the throne room or his library and sacred texts. Maybe it's opposite of the books that Rey stole from Luke and Octu. And perhaps they activate like a holocron or some type of hologram, and that's how they're able to see Palpatine. Or did he clone himself? Is he fully resurrected in the same way that Darth Plagueis did? Was he able to like come back from the dead? We're not sure. And then what about the title itself? Does the title mean the ascension of Rey? Does she adopt the Skywalker name, kind of casting off the baggage that she carried around of her lost parents? And that would mean that the past doesn't matter, as Rian Johnson wanted us to believe, and that your chosen family is what matters. Is the title about Kylo Skywalker through his mother Leia and his path to redemption? Is it retrospective, kind of looking back at Anakin and Luke's journey through all these movies? Is it about Luke's ascension to something more than his human form and how those who knew him have to cope with their loss, with him being gone? Or, and this one's least likely, but my most favorite, is Broom Kid a secret Skywalker? Who knows? But one thing that I'm positively sure of is that JJ is not retconning The Last Jedi. So The Rise of Skywalker opens in theaters on December 20th, 2019. We have a long time to wait, but I'm sure we'll still get plenty in the months to come with May the 4th, San Diego Comic-Con, and D23 on the horizon. So that's all I learned today. Now it's your turn. I want to hear your reactions and what you thought of the trailer, anything that I missed, something you think is important to shout out. I want to hear your theories on what the title could mean. Put all that down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And that'll do it. I'm Jesse. This is JLS Comics, and I'll see you soon.